Hello guys, we continue diving into the source of the open source repository Vito Deploy, and today I want to show you an example how to make your project really flexible. Because if you have some values in your code, they may change in the future. And in this case, the author of the project made it really configurable. So if you go to config and then file core, it's a huge file where you can configure pretty much all the values because, especially in this case, this is a project for servers and deployments. A lot of things may change. MySQL databases and versions, PHP versions, operating systems, many types of servers and stuff like that. Also providers of servers like AWS or DigitalOcean or whatever. So for such types of projects, configurability and flexibility is a must. So my point here, if you're building a project which has probability of changing certain values, immediately put them in the config. Let's see how it is used throughout that project. So if we go to app folder and just find in files config, we see 83 matches in 31 files. Let's quickly browse through them. So for example, there's an action, and we will talk about actions in a separate video in the future, with validation. So user may be in root or other values that come from the config. So in the future, those SSH user values may be different. So that makes it a very flexible validation rule. Then, for example, notification channels, similar thing, validator make, and then config notification channel providers. Another example, in install new PHP version, core PHP settings is the value. And if we click that, what are core PHP settings? Let's see. Oh, these ones. These also have quite a big probability to be changed in the future. What are other examples of configurability? App helpers folder, SSH. So there should be a default logs disk, but that may be different in the future. And also what I want to mention in this video is that in config core file, in some cases, the author uses env method, which means the value of this may be different on different environments. For example, if you locally install that project on your staging server or on live server. So you may restrict different IP addresses in this case based on your environment. And that is a good practice, to not use env directly in the code of app folder, but use config method, which in turn calls the environment variable and may have default fallback value. This also allows you to cache values. So if you run php artisan config cache, it would not work if you have env values directly in the app folder and not in the config. So yeah, that's all I wanted to show you in this video. If you plan to make your project bigger and survive for longer in the future, make it configurable like in this case. What do you think about this model? Would you have done it differently maybe? Let's discuss in the comments below. And see you guys in other videos.